Hello everyone, I am Dr. SandippGawate. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel English Guru for All. Dear friends, today we are going to discuss the most important topic, that is types of communication. In the previous videos, we discussed about two terms, communication and communication cycle, and we again discussed elements of communication cycle or communication process. Now, this video is the link to the previous videos that I uploaded on my YouTube channel. Now, what is communication? Communication is nothing but an exchange of ideas, emotions, feelings, opinions, knowledge, etc. between two or more persons. Now that is the definition of communication. Now we are going to discuss what are the different types of communication. We need to consider three aspects here. These three aspects are medium, relation and direction. Means while categorizing communication, we need to consider these three aspects. First is medium, second is relation, and third one is direction. Now, we are going to discuss the first categorization, that is on the basis of medium. But before starting with that one, we need to know what is meant by medium. Now, what is medium? Medium means what we use to construct the message. Means different codes are used to construct the message, and it is the duty of the sender to construct the message. Now what are the codes? You can say what? Words, signs, symbols, signals, all these are different codes. They are used to construct the message. So I explain what is meant by medium. Now by considering these codes, we can understand further classification. Now let us start with what? On the basis of medium, there are two main categories of communication. One is verbal communication and number two is non-verbal communication. Now what is meant by verbal communication? In verbal communication, words are used. These words can be in oral or written form. Now what is meant by non-verbal communication? In this type of communication, no words are used. Already non-verbal. Non means what? No use of words. So instead of words, different signs, symbols, graphs, charts, colors, body language can be used in this type of communication. Now we are going to move further, that is two more categories of verbal communication. Already I told you that verbal communication means words are used in oral or written form, and these two categories are, by considering that there are two categories, oral or spoken communication and second one is written communication. Now easily you can understand what is meant by oral or spoken communication. Now different examples can be given for that. Now what is meant by oral communication? If you are listening to the cricket commentary, in that case that is what? Oral communication. Right now you are listening to me, even this is the example of oral or spoken communication. Now what is the example of written communication? That is, you can say what you are writing answers of the given questions in your notebook, and that is nothing but what? Written communication. Later writing is even the example of what? Written communication. So it is crystal clear, oral communication means words are used in oral form, and written communication means words are used in written form. Now we are going to talk about non-verbal communication. This is the category based on medium. There are two more categories or sub-classification is done of non-verbal communication. One is body language and second one is graphical language. It is also called as visual language or visual communication. Now what we use in body language? If communication is face to face, in that case body language can be used. We can use what? Different body parts can be used. Right now I am using my hands. Even we can use what? Particular kind of posture, eye contact, touch. All these are the parts of what? Body language. Suppose right now I am nodding my head. This is the example of what? Body language. Now second category, that is graphical language or visual communication. What is meant by graphical language? Charts, graphs, even colors can be the part of that one. They are the parts of what? Graphical language. Now you just remember that you already studied geography. Different maps are used, different colors are used, different signs are used. They are nothing but the part of what? Parts of graphical language. Now in mathematics you use plus sign, minus sign, and even these are the examples of what? Graphical language. Now in this way you can understand, on the basis of medium there are two main categories: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is further subclassified into two categories: oral communication and written communication. Now what are the types of non-verbal communication? Body language and graphical language or visual communication. Let us move to the next categorization, that is on the basis of a relation. Now relation of the sender and the receiver. Already we discussed elements of communication cycle. Sender is a person who initiates or starts the communication process, and receiver is the person who receives the message and provides feedback to the sender. It means we are going to consider the relation between the sender and the receiver. So that relation can be formal or informal. It means on the basis of relation there are two types: formal communication and informal communication. Now by observing, or just if you read these words, easily you can understand what is meant by formal communication. Formal communication means, or you can say, in this type of communication, rules and regulations are observed by both the sender and the receiver. It is principle governed and it is time bound. Time limitation is there. On the contrary, informal communication, it is not time bound and rules and regulations may not be followed strictly. It means it may not be principle governed. Through examples you can understand both the terms. Suppose you are talking with your teacher, then that is called what? Formal communication. And informal communication, if two friends are communicating with each other, if they are talking about something related to their personal life, even that is the part of what? Informal communication. Now it is very easy to understand. Again I am going to revise. On the basis of relation, there are two categories of communication. One is formal communication and second one is informal communication. Dear friends, now we are going to move the next categorization, that is on the basis of direction. What is meant by direction? Direction means in what way the communication takes place. That is called what? That is called the direction of communication. Now what is there? There are three categories on the basis of direction. One, horizontal communication. Number two, vertical communication. And number three, diagonal communication. I am going to explain all these terms with the help of examples. Now what is horizontal communication? Horizontal means what? The communication which is taken place between same status or same position persons. Example, if two students are talking with each other, what is their position? Students. If two teachers are talking with each other, what is the position? Teacher. It means that is of same level or same position people. Now what is the next one? Vertical communication. What is vertical communication? That is, this communication is taken place, you can see it is hierarchical or hierarchy you have to consider in this type of communication. Example, if the manager is communicating with the workers, in that case that is called vertical communication. They are at different positions. What about diagonal communication? This is called crisscrossed kind of communication. Irrespective of, you can say, position, this communication is taken place. Now, there are two categories of vertical communication. First is upward vertical communication and second one is downward vertical communication. Now you need to understand, already I told you that vertical communication is taken place between or among, you can say, people they are not of same position or same status. Upward communication, with the help of example you can understand. If the workers are communicating with the manager, please try to understand, workers are communicating with the manager, in this case this is called upward vertical communication. Now what is the second category on the basis of, or you can say second category of vertical communication, that is downward vertical communication. What is downward vertical communication? That comes from upper level to lower level. Now example is what? If the teacher is talking with the students, in that case that is downward vertical communication. Now all these are the categories of communication on the basis of various aspects like medium, relation and direction. Dear friends, hope all your doubts are cleared. I request you all to subscribe my channel, watch the video again, share